I was born in the UK and I grew up during apartheid in Cape Town, having been shipped here. I come from a disabled father who was advised to go to a far warmer climate, and they chose Cape Town, and I grew up in the Cape and had to take the inevitable Johannesburg transfer that was offered Dad, and finished my school in Johannesburg, and then drama school in Cape Town at UCT, and then after that to the UK and did a bit there. When you come from a disabled dad, I mean, you're looking through a different prism at the world. You're looking through his prism. He can't go on the beach with you. He can't carry the cooler box. We had the most extraordinary holidays, but you know, when you do the father and son race at school and you're tied to each other, the whole school waits and applauds as you run to the finish, a minute behind every other father and son. My mother worked around the clock as a nursing sister, and she worked seven to sevens on weekends. Often I didn't see her. Sometimes when I was trying to go to school, they put me through a very expensive, from where our family income, we couldn't really provide to go to a private school. And I went to a private school. I went to a school called Western Province Preparatory School, famous for the Ackermans of Pick and Pay, the Nick Mallets of rugby. My mum worked herself to the bone to afford me to go to that school. I felt that I was out of my depth. I came from a totally different socioeconomic background to everybody that was at the school. And I remember spending school just reeling at the kind of opulence that was around. And it certainly wasn't happening in my home, which was a very humble home in Pinelands that was almost like an apartheid wasteland. Where we rode bicycles and had fun messing around in the canals, nothing like the kind of lifestyle that a lot of my friends seemed to be having when I went to their homes. School was great, but it was difficult. The thing about acting is you inform what you surrender to. The character line, the way you're going to play is informed through everything that you are. So you can only really see it through your knowledge, the knowledge that you have, and the way that I want to play it, or I see it, and that comes from your childhood, and the way Mom and Dad and my sister shaped and what we did in those holidays, and those funny English rugby songs and World War I songs that we sang, and playing darts and singing songs together, and just the way you grew up informs everything that you do on the front foot as you play characters and as you defend their ground. I think when Jamie finally arrived at drama school at UCT, I think for the first time I felt that I was recognized, and I recognized other boys and girls, or young women and men, and I realized I was in an environment where for the first time I could just let the flipping lilo go and just let the water take me. I knew that the tide would drag me out and it wasn't going to kill me. I didn't have to be armored up and on the front foot like I'd had to be throughout my school, boxing my way and boasting my way to survive. So the first film I ever rolled a camera with was a moving picture called American Ninja 2. And I met this incredibly large, incredibly sexy Steve James was the leading actor's name. I had to do these stunts with him. I was a 19-year-old drama student, and it was a series. I ended up doing American Ninja 5 with Ken Gumpu in those days in Masiru, all those years later. But here I was as a drama student with Michael Dudikoff and Steve James, and with those American Ninja series, they always had in a lot of those action moving pictures that I did were always the best stuntmen, the stickmen, the world champion stick fighters, the world champion stuntmen, the guys. So you with all these kind of rough and tough and from the bluff, and I spent the large part of the earlier part of my career doing junk action films. And I learned about things like physical continuity, about the etiquette of working on a set, about stunt fighting, and about how the lenses, how they worked, what in those days mostly worked in South Africa on ARRI, normal Arriflex cameras in 16mm areas, the BL, those wide gate pictures we did, 16 wides. So I learned on Arriflex doing cheap, always three cameras rolling in action movies. And it was only much later that I actually got into more serious movies and had a chance to work on anamorphic lenses, which is a very difficult acting technique to learn, especially working on very expensive anamorphic Panavisions, and you're learning about the technicals of working on those anamorphic lenses. And you really need monster actors that can critically hit marks at critical times in the middle, right in the huddle of a massive emotive thing. You've got to hit the mark when you're wide open on anamorphic. If you miss it and you're soft, you're right back to the beginning and you're loading another 1,000-foot magazine, which is only going to give you 11 minutes, which is more lacing time and more experience. So I learned that only later. Thank God I learned the basics of the craft and etiquette on these wonderful action movies. But I had the opportunity to work with the Oscar-winning director Tom Hooper just before he did The King's Speech. And I had the opportunity to work opposite the best actor I've ever worked with, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and to work for weeks and weeks and weeks with him. And to work with Hilary Swank just before she won her second Oscar, $1 million. And it was a complex movie, and Tom Hooper gave us incredible width and allowed me to play this apartheid man who was called out of the TRC after he was in Polsmore for 8 years for apartheid crime. And he really allowed me to yawn into this character, and it was complex and multicolored, and opposite Chiwetel Ejiofor, I mean, that guy gives it gears, and he's an incredibly giving actor. And Tom was running those 1,000-foot magazines. He was running 2 of those cameras right through each take was 11 minutes, going 10.5 minutes a take, and it was just the most incredible experience afforded me, and I think possibly my most successful leg up into working in that movie. If you're wearing a producer's hat, you like working on a card, you can get a lot of bang for your buck. You don't have to print take 2, take 6, take 9, and cost you a flipping fortune. It's friendly on the crew, and it's more mobile. It's a whole lot of things. From my point of view as the actor, and it's maybe because I learned to make tea in a very old-fashioned way, and that's the way, and nothing is better than the way that my granny taught me how to make it. So, and the modern way is very, very different. It affords the actor a lot more leeway to make errors, whereas in the system, if you're on those anamorphic lenses and running real footage through the gate, you can't afford to make mistakes. And you don't really, you want low ratios, and on the card you're afforded high ratios, therefore you can possibly let go of the ball, you've got a bit more width to move, and you can not be so good one day. Don't worry, on the card we can rack up, take 16, take 18, take 20, take 22, take 32. We just want to give it one more go. We've got plenty of cards here, Tony. We've got plenty of cards. Just one more take, Jay. Mutter.
That's a good way to end it. Excellent.